Without a doubt, Photoshop is definitely the industry standard when it comes to photo editing or any designing process. But 24,000 rupees for a software, especially if you are a beginner or if you are just starting to use Photoshop or you are just starting into the designing photo editing field and you are not earning any money, this is a huge amount and not everybody wants to pay it. But the good news is, if you are not stubborn about the software, if you are not stubborn about Photoshop, I have 5 other softwares that are equally good or that can get your things done immediately, that too without even spending a rupee on it. Yes, of course, there are pros and cons in all of this, so we'll discuss all of them in details. Without wasting any more time, let's get started. Okay, so the first app that I have in mind is Pixlr. Pixlr is a web-based application, so you don't have to worry about installing any software on your PC. And if you are someone who is just starting out, if you just want to do basic things, no complicated things, if you don't want to go through a lot of learning curve and learn a huge software to just simple things, this is the best app for you. The first time you launch this website, you'll get 3 options: Pixlr X, Pixlr E and Photomash Studio. Pixlr X is for your graphical designing needs. So if you want templates, if you want to do Instagram posts or graphical editing or anything, this has all the basic layout that you might need and might come in handy. But if you want to do more layered editing or more complex process, then you can use Pixlr E, which has a lot of tools which are very similar to Photoshop. The most often used tools in Photoshop for photo editing is all present in Pixlr. So you can use it to edit however you want. It even supports layer format, which is amazing because that's why Photoshop is known. My most beloved place in this app is the Photomash Studio. Photomash Studio will allow you to create image assets in just one click. You can create Instagram DPs or YouTube thumbnails, everything, all image assets or even sale pictures, Instagram posts, anything with just one click. Here you just upload your picture. The software will analyze and remove the background for you. So once the background is removed and everything is ready, you can directly click on whichever effect you want. You can even customize the effect and that's it. You don't have to go through any editing process or complex steps. You will directly be served the result in just 1 or 2 clicks. The second app in my list is Paint.net. This is the upgraded version of Microsoft Paint, which is available in Microsoft Store or in their official website. This has been there for a long time and it also has almost all the features, all the necessary features of Photoshop. It might not be able to do complex editing, but if you're just starting out or if you're just a beginner in the photo editing or graphical designing journey, any tool that you can think of is available on this app. Well, this is also community funded, so you can even fund them to make the app better. This app has also been getting regular updates, which means the app is very efficient and they are making changes that can help you and it is not going to be outdated anytime soon. It also has a huge community where you can learn how to use it and it's almost very similar to Photoshop. So if you work on this app, then later on coming back to Photoshop is going to be a bit more easier, I guess. The next app in my list is an app called Krita. Krita is actually an alternate for Adobe Illustrator more than it is for Adobe Photoshop because it is very focused or targeted towards the digital artists and it has everything that you need to do art online. So if you're someone who is looking for an application that replaces Adobe Illustrator or lets you draw and do digital art, this is an app for you. Well, even though if it is targeted towards them, it still has some features and most of the features can also be used for photo editing and graphic designing if you know how to tweak them or how to use these features differently. As of course it has a long learning curve, so if you are someone who is not interested in digital paintings or digital art and if you want to do photo editing or graphic designing, then I would not suggest Krita so much. But if you are someone who is into painting or digital art, then Krita is definitely the app for you. Okay, so before I go into the last 2 apps which are absolutely god tier when it comes to Photoshop alternatives, I would really appreciate a like or subscribe if you find anything in this video useful until now. Okay, so this app that I'm going to talk about right now has always been a mystery for me because I don't understand why this is legal or how this is legal? Because this app, which is called Photopea, is an absolute clone of Photoshop. It has the same layout, it has the same tools, it has the same functions, and it even looks similar, 100% similar to Photoshop. And I don't know how this works, but this works for some reason. So this app called Photopea is an absolute beast when it comes to editing photos. This is also a web-based application, so you don't have to worry about downloading something or installing any software on your PC. You just log on to the internet and you can use this software. It even supports Photoshop documents or AI documents, high quality image support, PNGs, JPEGs. There is nothing that this app cannot handle. So this is an absolute beast, or the exact clone of Photoshop, which makes it also a good place to start practicing Photoshop. So you can start using Photopea, and if you like it or if you like the workflow, you can then switch to Photoshop. The last app and the absolute beast of all this app is an app called Gimp. This is not a clone of Photoshop. It has its own user experience. It is different in its own terms, but it can do anything Photoshop can do. So it is powerful. It can do high quality photos. It can do all types of photos. It can do layer editing. It has everything that you can think of. Custom brushes. You can even do artistry or digital paintings on this app. So this is a feature packed app that I would highly recommend if you're looking for a Photoshop clone or a Photoshop alternative. This of course is not exactly like Photoshop, so there is a huge learning curve when it comes to Gimp, because the tools are different, the methods are different, so you have to invest quite a bit of time to learn this software and to implement this software. But the software is so efficient and it's so well done, and it has so many features that if you learn this software correctly or if you understand this software well, you will never go back to Photoshop. Okay, so that's my list of the top 5 apps that I think are quite good alternates for Photoshop. If you're someone who is into photo editing or graphic designing and are worried about how to select the right colors for your design, here is a video that will help you choose the same. And if you liked anything in this video, here is a channel that you might want to subscribe.